This week on Storyboard, ahead of the festive season, we are speaking with Hardeep Singh Brar, VP and Head of Sales and Marketing Kia India, about their journey in the last 3 years, plans for the festive season and much more. We have Vineet Sharma, Category Director, Mountain Dew PepsiCo India, speaking to us about their new take on Dar Ke Aage Jeet Hai and the brand diving into the everyday struggles of people. And we have Anil Vishwanathan, Vice President Marketing, Mondelez India, who's speaking to us about how they are extending their generosity platform to the whole of the festive season and their expectations from Diwali. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. Supply chain issues have been eased close to 95%, says Hardeep Singh Brar, VP and Head of Sales and Marketing, Kia India. We caught up with him ahead of the festive season to understand Kia's meteoric rise as a key automotive brand in the country over the past 3 years since its debut with Seltos back in 2019. What will be their strategy forward and their EV game plan? Listen in.
Hardeep, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you, Shivani.
Hardeep, in the month of July, Kia India crossed a 5 lakh cumulative sales mark, in the domestic market. You are one of the quickest car makers, is what you're saying, to achieve this landmark. Can you share the reason for this, meteoric growth, especially in the past 2 years of the pandemic, which have been challenging?
Let me start with the quarter's 4 Ps. As you know, the 4 Ps are the fundamental for any business strategy or go-to-market. We came out with our technology, which was which was not available earlier, and the kind of designs which we brought in our cars. If you remember, our first campaign was Badass by Design, which was for Seltos, and that was at the time which was not great. That was way back in August 2019, and the market was not so great at that point in time. But when people looked at the product and the kind of features, the kind of powertrain and the kind of fuel options that we gave, I think that really mesmerized the customers. And on top of that, the campaign, which was built around Balance by Design, was received very well by the consumers. And we targeted these consumers, which were like young. Coming to the second P, our price was not, I wouldn't say, we were at the bottom, but I think it was a very competitive price. But the promotion was something which really took off and really connected with the consumer, which was about 25 to 35 years. And the last P, our network, our place, which was, I think we had the highest number of dealerships when we began the business in India. We were about 200 touch points at that point in time. So all put together, the 4 Ps worked really well for us. And I think we kept consumer at the center of everything. And we did a lot of research before we really started going ahead with these 4 Ps. So I think that was the recipe for success for Kia in India.
All automakers in the country are really upping their EV game. So what's your focus, on EV?
So if you look at all our product interventions, so when we started with SUVs, we brought in the top of the line Seltos because that was a space where few people were going at that point in time. So we started with the top, and then we brought in Sonnet, which was a notch lower or a segment lower. When it came to the multi-utility vehicles, we brought in Carnival, the extravagant Carnival, and then we brought in Carins at a much lower segment. And similarly in EVs as well, we brought in the top of the line, the best in the world for us, the EV6, and now we will come down to the different segments of electric vehicles. While we are yet to disclose our India strategy, and we are still working on that, but globally we are investing about $22 billion plus across the globe, and we are working on some 14 battery electric vehicles, and out of which some of them will surely come to India. And one of them I can share because it's in a public domain. In 2025, we will be launching Grounds Up India EV. And besides that, there will be a few more EVs which will be coming by that time as well. So 2025 EV is something which will be purely made for India.
Yeah. Hardeep, you made a very interesting point, when you said that you launched top of the line first whether it is Seltos, whether it is EV. So is that going to be your strategy in India in the coming months, in the coming years as well?
Yes, and I think we've already done it because we want to stay in this space of SUVs and MUVs, and we call it in our terminology, we call them recreational vehicles. So we have already got into the space that we wanted into. So of price points.
Okay, and auto industry has been through a lot over the past couple of months with supply chain issues, decline in rural demand. How did the company deal with it, and what is going to be the way forward, Hardeep?
At the beginning of the year, we were doing about 18 to 19,000 units a month, and then we gradually increased it to, and now we are averaging about anywhere between 22 to 24,000 units. Of course, we have improved our capacity at the plant, but simultaneously, I think the big factor has been the easing of the supply chain. The supply chain is much better than before. I wouldn't say it is 100% sorted, but it is very close to 90-95%, which is a pretty good percentage versus where the situation was earlier. And I think in terms of opportunity, India has huge opportunity. As I said, 2/3 of the consumers less than 35 years of age, which gives us probably one of the youngest population in the world. But with that kind of age bracket also comes a lot of expectations, and people want better designs, more features, more gadgets, and I think Kia is fully poised to fulfill the demands of this consumer.
Coming to you can also share in some insights on what is this consumer really looking for.
I think design is the looks of the car is one of the most critical feature for the next generation consumer. The second thing what they look at is the interior space, comfort, and also the kind of features that you can get in the car. So some of our features like the air purifier, which was one of the first ones, and then we also gave us standard 6 airbags at the time of currents. Even today, our Seltos comes with standard 6 airbags. So practically 4 out of 5 cars that we have today comes with standard 6 airbags, which not many of the players have been able to provide. So they look at safety, they look at features, they look at design, and of course the comfort and the luxurious feel of the car inside.
Okay, and you mentioned that your supply chain issues have been resolved. So we are stepping into the Grand Indian festive season, and typically these big ticket purchases like buying a car happens during Dussehra and Diwali. So share with us, if I were to go into like a Kia showroom, how soon will I get the delivery of the car? How long does it take right now?
So if you look at the large percentage of our range, the waiting period varies anywhere between 4 to 8 months. But we have supplied certain trims in certain models like Seltos, especially in Seltos because that's a huge demand. And even in Carens, we have supplied few trims where the waiting is about 2 weeks time. So anybody who's wanting to buy the car today, they should ask the dealer, which are the trims which are available immediately, and they will be able to get those cars during the festival period.
Finally, before we go, Hardeep, 3 years in the India market, what are the biggest challenges and opportunities, in the India market, according to Kia Motors?
Okay, in terms of opportunities, as we know, the car density is still probably one of the least in the world. We have about 33 people owning a car out of 1,000. So that leaves us with a lot of potential, whereas developed countries are in excess of 500. So that's one huge potential that we have. But of course, that is long term. The second thing is, there's a pent-up demand because we lost a lot of months over the last couple of years in the COVID. So there are a lot of customers. And also it helped us, it moved the customers from the shared mobility to owning a personal car because people wanted, there's a lot of focus on hygiene. So a lot of people have moved from ride sharing to owning a personalized car. So there's a pent-up demand which is there. So that gives us another opportunity. And also in terms of economy, I think the Indian economy is doing much better than rest of the world. So that also is gives a lot of confidence to the consumer at this point in time. Of course, the challenges remain. The interest rates are increasing, so that also increases the monthly installment. If somebody has a home loan, that also kind of impacts. And also, the prices of the vehicles over the last 2 years have gone up. So, the elasticity of price elasticity also may kick in. So while it is not a worrying factor right now, but yes, in the future, that could also impact the overall demand.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on CNBC-TV18.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you for having me here. Thanks.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Vineet Sharma, Category Director, Mountain Dew PepsiCo India, speaking to us about the brand diving into everyday struggles of people across the spectrum.